Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling, insight news, and reviews on a daily basis. Today, it's February 28th, 2025, and it is the day before the 2025 edition of Elimination Chamber, one of my favorite PLEs of the year, and this year I am so excited for the event. In today's show, we're going to be giving our predictions for it. Now, out of the gate, don't worry, this is spoiler-free, right? None of us know the spoilers. There are some leaks, we know about that. We're not talking about them, and both Jordy and Archie, who are joining me today, haven't seen the spoiler. I, unfortunately, for the men's match, have seen the quote-unquote spoiler. So for that reason, and I'm going to emphasize this right now, the prediction that I am given is the exact same prediction that I gave in my predictions video for WrestleMania a couple of days ago on this channel, right? So I'm not changing my prediction from then, so don't worry, nothing will be given away. This is purely predictions, this is purely speculation. So today's broadcast, as always, is spoiler-free. Now, without further ado, let's introduce the panel. Firstly, somebody who was recently seen on Paul Heyman's Instagram story. How are you, Jordy? And tell us about that.
Yeah, that happened. That was a strange one. I can't remember when it was. When was it? A couple of days ago. Might have been Wednesday. I woke up, looked at my phone, and there was a comment on the video. If you've not seen the video of me and Mickey throwing the ones up Roman Reigns style, then go and watch it. But there was a comment on that video saying, "Oh my God, this guy made it to Paul Heyman's story. He might actually be him." And I was like, "Huh? I did what?" And I checked, and there I was. So, yeah, that was a great way to wake up. I'm excited for Elimination Chamber, and also quick shout out because I know my nephew Billy is watching. So, hello Billy, and I hope you're doing well, my friend.
Shout out to Billy, no doubt about it, and shout out to Paul Heyman as well. Also, shout out to number one Superfly. Happy Predictions Day to you too, and to Fernando and to Kafka's K as well. Also joining us today, we have Archie. How are you today, Archie?
I'm doing well, mate. Congratulations to Jordy on getting that nice little recognition from the wise man himself. And yeah, it's a very unpredictable match card for Elimination Chamber, and I can't wait to get into it and try and make some predictions and try and not make a fool of myself with some predictions. So yeah, let's go.
I had, since last year's WrestleMania, I've had quite a good run, right, with predictions. I think that's going out the window today, right? I think it's WrestleMania season. It's going in the trash once again. Yes, I have. Despite popular belief, I've actually won, I think, all but one pay-per-view prediction we've done this year across all the companies. So I think, including AEW, there must be like 20, and I only lost one, and I think that was to Anthony. So it's, it's a good, I'm on a good streak, but today, I think that's going out the window. Let's kick things off, shall we, with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, because I'm just going to throw an absolute spanner in the works out of the gates. In fact, before I do that, Jordy, I'm actually going to pass it to you first, and I'll actually do mine at the end, because I don't think anybody's going to do this one. But what's your prediction for Elimination Chamber?
For the women's, I don't know. I don't know. I said it before the show. Like I wanted to come in with like, right, you know what, I've thought about it. This is my pick, and there's so many possibilities, which is such a contrast to last year. I can't say that enough, and I'm so thankful of that. But when it comes to a prediction show, it makes it a lot more difficult. Bianca and Naomi losing the tag titles has thrown a spanner in the works for all of us. I think Bianca automatically then kind of went to favorite in my head, but then I think Rhea and Bianca, is there enough? But there is enough time to tell that story, and you don't really need to tell it a great deal. But to me, that I want that to be something that's been in the works for 12 months or something, and I think it can be the main event. As Shad said it, and I completely agree with Shad. Like that can night 2 main event as far as I'm concerned. And that won't happen this year. So I don't know if it's going to be Bianca. I'm going to throw Roxanne Perez out there. And I'm going to go with it because I feel like Naomi and Bianca, something with Jade might happen, and then they'll spiral into. They might even have a triple threat at Mania. I don't know. Bailey, because of last year at Mania, I don't see her getting that chance again. Liv's just picked up the tag titles. It would be a great opportunity. You can put Roxanne in a match. You can have, because I don't think Rhea's going to lose at Mania, first of all. So how can you put someone in that match that can take the L but still come out looking good, still almost gain a lot from having just that position on the Mania card with Rhea Ripley? So I'm going with Roxanne.
That is an out there call, but I respect it. I mean, the comments are divided as well. I make beats wants Roxanne to win as well. Kafka's case says Bailey is winning, he believes, and Fernando says Bianca is winning. People are divided on this one. Like Fernando says, this year's Chamber is a hard one to predict. Now, of course, in the women's match, the full lineup is Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Bailey, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Roxanne Perez. I don't think that that's going to be the lineup on Saturday night, because I think pre-match, either Naomi or Bianca Belair are going to get taken out by Jade Cargill. And we are going to find out by Jade that one of those is actually the one who took her out, or at least got somebody to try and take her out for them or something like that. And then that is a feud for WrestleMania. I do agree with both you and Shah, Jordy. Bianca versus Rhea would be an absolute banger of a bout, no doubt about it. But I'm way more interested in Jade versus Bianca. So for that reason, I'm going to say somebody's going to enter as a surprise to replace Bianca after she gets taken out. And that person, I do think, is going to be a returning Becky Lynch. I've been predicting that match for months, so I'm going to say it again. Rhea, Becky, once again, WrestleMania. Last year, we know Becky wasn't happy with the match. She was really unwell during it. I reckon they're going to run it back. But what about you, Archie?
So the road for WrestleMania for Rhea Ripley has been strange, to say the least. I had somebody in mind who I was going to pick to win this match, which I think a lot of people who would have asked me who I think are going to win this match prior to this prediction show will know who that is, which is Bailey. I thought up until this week's Raw that Bailey was going to win it. And then I saw Bianca lose her tag team titles. And that's thrown it up in the air a bit for me. So although the only real thing that's made me think is Liv is definitely not gonna win, because she just won tag titles. So I've changed my prediction last minute for what I thought I was going to go for, and I'm going to go with Bianca to win it. I don't think anyone's going to be taken out, and I'd love to see Becky back as well. I'd love to see Becky and Rhea run it back, but I don't think Becky's going to be here in time for WrestleMania. Bailey, I was going to see, I could see her winning it. It was between her or Bianca, and then Roxanne. She just started a feud with Jordan Grace, and I don't think they're going to have Jordan Grace lose her first singles match on NXT as a full-time NXT member of the NXT roster. So to have her win the Chamber match and then lose to Jordan Grace at NXT Roadblock or something like that'd be a bit of a strange decision in my eyes. So it's really just the process of elimination is why I've chosen Bianca, but Bianca Belair is my choice. And yes, the Jade Cargill aspect of that puts that up in the air a bit. But I'm still confident on my pick for Bianca Belair. And Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley is probably a match that we all thought would have a few months build up to it and be a WrestleMania main event, like Jordy said. But honestly, it's something that could easily just be done with a 6-week explosive build. Because as Jordy said, the story's already there. It doesn't need too long of a build. And it has an opportunity. I think a lot of people will disagree, depending on what the other matches are. But I think it has a genuine opportunity to main event WrestleMania Night 1, which it should do, in my opinion. So if Bianca does win, which I think so, I hope Bianca and Rhea does main event Night 1.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
That'd be fantastic.
If the winner of this Chamber main event's Night 1 with Rhea, if they confirmed that, then I would totally agree. I think that it'll be Bianca, and I hope it is.
Yeah.
That maybe it's the start of a story rather than the end. You know what I be a
I
12 story.
Yeah, I just don't think there needs to be a long build for a story like Rhea and Bianca, which already is just kind of the story's already there, really. I
That's
mean,
true.
all you need to do is just have them come face to face, and you'll see the crowd going nuts.
Yeah.
And anybody that isn't already watching WrestleMania will think, damn, what's this? I want to see what happened in this. So, yeah, Bianca's my choice. It might be a bit premature to put this matchup in, but I've kind of grown to the idea of Bianca versus Rhea as time's gone on.
No, that's a good point. I mean, the one thing I do think, though, is, of course, Roman Reigns isn't in the men's chamber. Surely I want, and I think Rhea versus whoever she's facing should main event night one. But do you guys really think Roman Reigns isn't going to main event at WrestleMania after main eventing it for so many years in a row, with the only exception being the 1 year where he came back from having cancer, and this other year being during the pandemic?
He might be in the chamber, mate. I don't know.
The thing is
really?
I think the thing is
Stranger things have happened.
well, we're gonna have to wait till the men's chamber to talk about that. But I don't think Roman's actually main eventing this year, if I'm being honest, because I feel like he's kind of going to be all right to take that back seat this year to not main event. So yeah, I don't actually think Roman's gonna main event, because I feel like he's gonna be fine taking that back seat. And my prediction for who he'll face will be Seth Rollins. And to me, I don't think that's a match that, although that can main event WrestleMania, I don't think that's a match that will main event at WrestleMania.
I think, unfortunately, I say unfortunately purely because I think Rhea deserves it, but I do think Reigns is main event in night one, whatever that ends up being. Match. I think
you're also kind of not taking into account, though, how popular Rhea's become over the past year. Like, she's one of the most if I'm honest, she might even be on that level of popularity that Roman is with the fans at the minute.
You could easily argue that, because she has got serious mainstream appeal. We talk all the time about her TikTok.
If she had the same schedule as well, where she constantly takes 6-week breaks and then comes back and you hear her music and the crowd pop like they do for Roman, I think you're probably right. For me, before we move on quickly, I don't know if taking main event of night one of Mania is worth it to carry on this streak that Roman's on. I don't either. I still don't see it. I think it has to be night two if he wants to carry on that streak. So then if he's not doing that, then I just say, why bother? Just take somewhere else in the card. But I completely take both points. I'm on the fence.
But I mean, I do fully agree. I just think they're going to do it.
I see what you mean as well. I see what you mean.
And last week on Sunday, Kobe and Soul tried to predict the where stuff would go, and both of them came to the solution. Roman's got probably main event one night. I think Soul said Vimba Open one or something like that. But DCX Warlord's got a comment I agree with, completely off topic, but I still agree with it, so I will read it out. Little does Cope know that Christian Cage is the AEW World Champion. Yes, he is. Fernando says Roman not being in the chamber is a head scratcher. And Fernando is right. Austin and Rock did not main event every WrestleMania. That is completely true. Kafka's case is, as much as I want to believe in Rhea and Bianca main eventing, I think Roman and Seth will be the main event above it. I unfortunately do agree with that as well, but I do think it should be whoever Rhea faces, especially Bianca Belair. But now let's move on to continue talking about the women's division, and let's talk about the, I guess, Dream Team, or the WWE Universe Mode team, or WWE 2K Universe Mode team of Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus. I mean, I didn't see this one coming like ever, but they're going to be facing Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I mean, based on the fact that we know it's Tiffy versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, to me, I think this is quite a clear one. Tiffy and Trish is my prediction, but what about you, Jordy?
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. Obviously, we spoke a lot about the first topic. I've not got as much to say about this one. It's in Canada. Tiffy's on her way to Mania as champion. I think it would be odd for her to take a loss. I think it would be odd for Trish to lose in Canada. The only other way I would see it going is, this isn't my prediction, by the way. My prediction is Tiffy and Trish to win. The only other way I could possibly see them swinging it is if Tiffy or Trish turned on one of the other. I don't know. But then with Charlotte in the picture for the match at Mania, it just seems like a waste because I, like you, never saw this coming. I saw these two going at each other in a feud, not tag teaming up somewhere down the line. So it took me by surprise, but I think they'll win.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think the comments unanimously agree with this as well. But what about you, Archie? Are you just gonna go against us all, or do you agree?
No, I'm not gonna go against you guys just for the sake of it. Unfortunately, I think Trishy Time is has got this in the bag. As Jordy says, it's in Toronto. I can't see them having Trish lose. One thing I really like about this is it's Trish's 25th anniversary in the business.
Wow.
And it's also something that I don't think they've actually really talked about much, and they should be talking about it a lot more. In that it doesn't need to be like a farewell tour kind of thing like Cena's got, but maybe Trish can kind of speak about it more. They can give her the time to speak about that anniversary, because they talked about it a lot in the Royal Rumble, but they didn't really speak about it much here. But so yes, I would have really liked that aspect to come into play more. But yeah, Trishy Time for the win, definitely.
There is, and you mentioned that, potential farewell tour, and D6 Warlord mentions this here too, that some people are recklessly speculating that perhaps after this match, Trish could retire.
Really?
And that could be why it's so random. If
I'm going to be honest, I think when Tiffy obviously beats Charlotte at WrestleMania, I think it's going to be Tiffy and Trish at SummerSlam in New York. I could see that happening.
That could happen. Trish could come out to congratulate her and then clothesline her.
And then maybe that's why they're building this kind of relationship and story between the two.
Apparently Trish said it. Apparently Trish said she's considering retiring after Chamber. So that's why it's come from.
She's dangling a carrot there.
Yeah. You don't usually say that. You do it as a surprise unless you would properly announce it beforehand. If you're unsure, that usually means no in wrestling.
She said it was a good start to the anniversary as well. She didn't say that it was
Okay.
I think Tiffany would be a great opponent to choose to retire Trish if they want to go that route, but I don't think she's going to retire in maybe 2 or 3 years, to be honest, because she looks great in the ring, and I can't see her slowing down anytime soon. So
absolutely. I mean, there we are. We all unanimously agree, but will we unanimously agree on the next topic? Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, unsanctioned match. This one in Canada, I am excited for. It is going to be a banger. Honestly, every time these two meet in the ring, it's a bang. And tomorrow with that Canadian crowd, unsanctioned, anything goes. It is going to be on a whole other level. But the question is, who will win? Archie, I'll send this one to you first.
So I've said this on the daily before, but these two really are kind of destined to do this forever. I love how it's an unsanctioned match, a callback to their Ring of Honor days. And their rivalry there. For me, I think Kevin Owens is going to win this one. I can see this being a bloodbath. Honestly, we don't get too many of those in WWE. We saw it with Drew and Punk last year at Hell in a Cell. I feel like they need to be done at the right time. It's with a company like WWE that doesn't do it a lot of the time, and this is the right time to do it. And yeah, I hope these guys kind of paint the ring red in Toronto. It's like a WrestleMania match for both of them. I think a lot of people are complaining that this wasn't on the WrestleMania card, but I think to me this is their WrestleMania. In Toronto in a stadium, 1-on-1. So yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens and maybe a return of a certain Viper after the match as well.
Ooh, we do have quite a few comments about this one. CavKSK is saying this is the match I'm most excited for on the entire show. This is the rubber match, says DCX Warlord. And Fernando says the same as you, RKO. Well, different to you, but he says RKO will show up like you, but he thinks he will cost Kevin Owens the match. Meanwhile, S Wiggle 6 over on Instagram thinks the match will end in a no contest and they will hash it out at Mania. Because it's unsanctioned, it can't end in a no contest, but who knows, maybe it could go on to WrestleMania. But what are your thoughts, Jordy?
In the terms of the no contest, it couldn't end in a no contest, but it could end in a situation where it just like they're both KO'd on the floor and neither of them are in a position to get up, and somebody has to just come and I don't know, carry on the show. It all depends on when they're going to put it on the card, because with it being unsanctioned, I would genuinely like, so say they do the women's chamber to open and then they start lifting the chamber and KO comes out and says, no, leave that there. Like, I want that there for this match with Sammy, and they have an actual unsanctioned match within an elimination chamber that spills out into the crowd and all sorts. But I'm with Fernando. I think Sammy will win. I think Randy will return and cost KO the match, because I don't think Randy's missing another Mania. I think he'll want to have a match on that card, and I think Randy is the type of person where, like, to be fair, if he wants a match on the card, he can probably have one. I think him and KO would be a fantastic match on the card as well. So I'm going with a Sammy win and a returning Randy to take out KO.
Well, I agree with half of your prediction because I'm going the exact same as Archie. I'm saying that I think Kevin is going to get the win. In fact, I don't actually think Randy Orton's going to even show up. I think Randy Orton's going to show up like next week or something and then take Orton out on SmackDown or Raw, whatever brand he's on now. I can't keep up with this brand split, quite frankly. But yeah, my prediction is that Sami Zayn loses, Kevin Owens wins. We get Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and Sami Zayn goes on a downward spiral and faces Karrion Kross in pretty much a filler match at WrestleMania to then, switch the direction a little bit.
The only reason I say about Randy is because what I see happening is after the match, kind of where KO just wins it, and they're both kind of just completely tired and beaten and battered, and then Sammy maybe tries to console with KO again, and KO goes for a package pile driver, but Randy returns just in time to stop that from happening. That's what I see happening.
That could be a cool moment.
Yeah,
that absolutely could. Can you guys shoot my cat, by the way?
No.
Okay, my cat.
Wish you could.
My cat does this thing, right, where, like, if she's a bit bored, she wants some attention of people, she'll go on the landing, which is just outside this room, and just cry for no reason. She just wants somebody to play with a rope with her. But there we have it. Now let's move on to the next one, because this is quite interesting, because The Rock wants Cody's soul. Some people say, in fact, I think that means The Rock wants Cody to be his corporate puppet in a similar way that he was Vince McMahon's corporate puppet at one point in this story. And essentially, this question is, do you think Cody is going to be the corporate puppet, or do you think Cody is going to be the Stone Cold of this story? Archie, I'm going to once again pass it to you first. What is your prediction? Will Cody Rhodes say yes or no to The Rock?
Well, it's not a coincidence that I've got my Cody Rhodes shirt on today. It's the Finish the Story shirt, and the question is, will him finishing the story come at the cost of his soul to The Rock? So at Elimination Chamber, firstly, I want to say that on SmackDown, although the segment was kind of hauntingly weird, which I guess was kind of the point of it, that it did leave a lot of questions unanswered that should have been answered. But Cody, as always, was a fantastic pro and answered all of them superbly. So the question of will he sell his soul to The Rock at the Elimination Chamber? I think no, that won't happen at the Elimination Chamber, but I think it will happen eventually. And I think, based off what my prediction for the men's chamber match will be, which I won't give away, I think that the person he faces at WrestleMania, he will win thanks to help from The Rock, in the same way Stone Cold sold his soul to the devil. I think Cody's going to do the same. And the thing is about Cody Homelander turn that we're expecting. I think a lot of people are expecting this turn, but not a lot of people are going to be expecting what Cody's going to do with this. And I think he's going to make us sympathize with him, because that Raw promo, when he was talking about how, his dad, Dusty, worked on the indies, worked as hard as anyone on the indies going into, quite a older age. And how he doesn't want that for him and he doesn't want that for his family, and how this with The Rock is a shortcut in a way. That's kind of making me think, you know what, Cody, just go and just take it. That's what's best for your family. You deserve it. But I think a lot of people aren't gonna be prepared for the way Cody's gonna make us sympathize with him, even as a heel. And that's why I think that a lot of people are saying, oh, he's one of the biggest baby faces WWE has had for a long time, since Cena, right? Which is right. But I think the reason his popularity is not going to go down too much after he turns face again after his heel turn is because of the magnificent way he's going to make us sympathize with him, much like KO does in his heel turn. But I don't think he's going to say yes at the Elimination Chamber, but eventually I think he will. And we're going to get Homelander Cody with The Rock playing, that Vought kind of role. And weirdly enough, KO is a perfect representation for Billy Butcher as well. So
he certainly is. But I will say, right, the difference between KO and Cody, for example, when you sympathize with him, Cody, his biggest target audience when it comes to merch is actually kids, which is why nobody's done it like him since John Cena. Jey Uso's also doing a great job right now as well, selling merch to kids as well. But nobody does it to the level that Cody does. Now, kids tend to see stuff a bit more black and white. So I don't think if you can turn him heel, I don't think there's going to be much sympathy there. I think you are going to lose that market.
But just as easily when you turn him face again, because Cena can be that kind of play that role that Cody could be playing or would be leaving this year if he was turning heel. As you said, they see things black and white. When he turns face again, they're going to be cheering for him just as loudly as they were before. So I think
I don't know just as loudly. I think because it was a long build to get to that point where they're cheering for him as loudly as it was. I don't know. I think if you turn him face again, it'll take a few years to get back to this point right now. And for that reason, I think my prediction.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say, I think if you book it that The Rock's using Cody and Cody's blindly not seeing it, then I think, he will get that sympathy. But go on.
Yeah, no, I do see that point, and I really want to see it. I want to see heel Cody. I want to see Homelander Cody. I love your Vought idea as well with The Rock. It's perfect. It makes so much sense. Jordy's been going on about it all year as well, but I do not think we're going to see it. I don't think he's turning heel. I think he's going to say no tomorrow, and I think it's going to be no for the foreseeable future too. I don't think Cody's the one joining The Rock. I think it's going to be somebody else. Jordy, what about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm very much agree with you guys. He might do down the line, I don't know, but I don't think tomorrow is that opportunity. I think he's gonna decline it, and then The Rock maybe will give him a taste of what is going to happen if he continues to decline this offer. Like I said, they might even try and bring back the whole 1, 2, 3 count that The Rock did, and he'll say, "I'm going to ask you this question 3 times, and you've said no once, and I'm going to ask you it 2 more times, and if you say no 3 times, then you'll wish you were never born." Like that kind of vibe. I don't know. I'm with you, Ben. I really don't know if they'll turn Cody. The one thing that I will say about, because I'm convinced it's more of an Anakin Skywalker than a Homelander now, and I've explained that, but the thing that you could do with Homelander is you could keep him a face to the kids and a heel to the adults. Because that's you could have, that's what Homelander is, isn't he? He's the face, people, to the general public, he's a face. When you're actually intelligent enough to know what's going on behind closed doors, he's very, very, very much a villain. you could keep Cody doing all the stuff with the kids, and it would almost make the adults hate him more, because it's like rubbing it in your face in a politician way that we know behind closed doors. He's done this deal with The Rock. He's not that same guy that we wanted to finish the story. We're not Cody crybabies anymore. We don't like him. He's joined the enemy, but he can carry on going around with The Rock, doing what The Rock does, smiling at the press conferences, getting photos with the kids. But every now and again, we see moments backstage that he's pulling strings. And it's like, that's more of a Homelander to me than somebody that's going to come out. Like, a Homelander does appeal to the crowd. He smiles at the crowd and they like him. But that he's not the good guy you think he is. And I think they should lean into that if they're going to do it. Because I think you can kind of have your pie and eat it too that way.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And then sometimes it's a violent side comes out.
I actually think that's a great way to go about it. Is, remember what we saw with Cody in AEW, where everyone wanted him to turn heel and he refused to turn heel. I think if you do it like this, where he's obviously sold out to The Rock, but he doesn't flip the switch on the fans straight away like any normal heel does, because he's got that connection with the fans that
when was
not
it
only
that
they
Homelander
feel towards him, but he
cracked?
feels towards them.
Like, was it towards the end of season 2, the end of season 3, when Homelander had that moment when he was screaming and he was like, "I'm so much better than you," and like screaming at everyone, and they actually took to him and they cheered, and he wasn't expecting it.
And it's just split people. It was.
That's what I mean. I think we need to get that to Cody, because I think if we actually see that, people will actually cheer it, because it's like, finally he's actually turned heel, so he'll get that Homelander reaction then from the adults. And
that's the thing. He will get. He's going to get a ton of merch sold for adults. Adults are probably going to love him more than ever. But it's the kids, I think it's going to be.
It's a risky game. Risky.
It is. But I want to see it, because I think it'd be so good.
Timing wise, with Cena Jey Uso, it's probably perfect.
I just hope.
Think they will.
I just hope he just doesn't flip the switch and does a heel promo straight away. Does the same old kind of heel cheap pops kind of thing that anybody does when they turn heel straight away. I just don't think that'd be Cody. It wouldn't be
Cody's good at subtle facial expressions and stuff like that. Cody's very intelligent. He's had some acting training, which, albeit little, is probably more than what others have had. And I think he will be able to, he'll know to look at a camera with a menacing way after doing a very babyface thing to make us all fuming, to be like, "It's here, I know what he's doing." He's very clever like that.
He's very close with Stephen Amell as well, the actor. Yeah. He's very close personal friends there,
Dusty,
so he can get some more training.
Well, Dusty
he also might end up in the films if he becomes The Rock's boy.
Yeah.
Well, Dusty always said that he saw Cody more as an actor than a wrestler. So
Cody
you can definitely see that.
Actually, that's a good point. So what we're saying, Cody Rhodes went to acting school for
he did
quite a few years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so it's not a great deal of acting experience compared to a Timothy Chalamet or a Tom Holland, but compared to a Karrion Kross, Sami Zayn, you know what I mean? Compared to the people in WWE, it's a hell of a lot of acting experience, and I think I can see that in him. Like, there is subtle nuances that he does.
I think him and Roman are above the rest when it comes to those kind of subtle nuances, like you said, Jordy.
Yeah.
Right, I want to read some comments out, but after I read the comments out, Jordy, I want an answer for the graphic. I want the answer. Is it going to be no and then yes, or no and then no? You got about 30 seconds to decide. We have Bobby Petito. Shout out to you in the comments.
Set the countdown clock.
Fernando says Homelander Corporate Cody is definitely happening at the Chamber. DCX Warlord says The Rock is pretending to be the master of the puppet. And I Make Beat says Cena finally turns heel and becomes Rock's corporate champ. Cody says no, that would be fascinating. I can't see it though on Cena's retirement tour. Number one says Cody will say no. However, it's not over between the two. As it will lead to SmackDown after the Elimination Chamber, which number one will get to in a little bit. And to Bobby's point, what if The Rock punishes Cody? Jordy, is it a no and then a yes, or a no and then a no?
It's a no and then a no.
There we are, then. We agree on that one. Archie is the only one who thinks we are getting a heel Cody in the fairly near future. But now let's move on to talk about the men's Elimination Chamber match, because this is absolutely stacked. We have got Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and a name I've completely forgotten. Who on earth have I just missed there?
Don't do that.
John Cena. How did I miss John Cena? I don't know. Probably
You couldn't
the
see him in
most
the graphic,
notable.
that's why.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why. No, I couldn't see the graphic because for whatever reason, my Chrome tab just always shuts down when StreamYard's open. But we now do have this match, and I'm so excited for it. It is the most unpredictable one in years. Now, like I said at the start of the show, this is going to be no spoilers. I'm the only one who's seen the leaked report, and my prediction is not based off that. It is the same one which I made the other day before this leaks came out, and that is, and I'll say my prediction first, CM Punk, because I think CM Punk is going to be the one to turn heel with The Rock, and it will be corporate CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes with Triple H in his corner at WrestleMania. I think Cody Stone Cold, and I think CM Punk will become The Rock for this storyline. He'll betray us all. But Jordy, what about you? Who is your pick to win the Elimination Chamber?
Carry on. No, I don't know, man. It's chopping and changing. I'm pretty much now stuck between CM Punk and John Cena, and I really cannot call it. It's difficult. It really is. John Cena, he's kind of synonymous with the Chamber to me. Like there's so many times I can picture him in there. I would love for him to win his last one, but I also don't think he's going to win 17 at Mania as much as I would love that. So I don't know if I could take him. Seeing him lose at Mania in a main event on his final year would be rough. I think I'm going to go with. Oh no! You know what? No, I'm going to go with Cena. Let's do it.
Wow.
Let's lock it in. I'm trying to manifest it. I'd love to see him win it, his final one. And if CM Punk doesn't win it, then the favor starts to, get thrown into the mix, and I think they'll want that kind of speculation. So
the favor is an interesting point as well. We've all discussed this at length. Got a few comments here. We have numero one say John Cena will win the Chamber, but that is not the official match, as something will happen on the SmackDown. On the SmackDown, we get a confrontation between John and Cody, but The Rock appears and reveals that it is now a triple threat match. John, Cody, and Punk, thanks to Punk's favor. Basically, that is really similar to what Saul said last Sunday on Sunday Funday. That is pretty much the same theory there, but I do like that one indeed. Calf KSK says he'll take anyone apart from Punk and Logan, not a CM Punk guy. I don't know, but I make beats like him, so there we are, or at least predicts him. Fernando also says CM Punk, and Bobby Petito says John Cena. Very interesting stuff, but what about you, Archie?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say that I couldn't be more proud to be part of a brand like Wrestling Republic, which is spoiler free and really is for the fans. Now, getting into the predictions, this is one of the most difficult ones that we've had on the show today. My mind has been juggling between three names, and that's John Cena, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre. I could easily see, Ben did a great video on YouTube, kind of outlining the different theories that could happen with the Rock's request for Cody's soul, and one of them was Drew being Rock's corporate champion. I could absolutely see that, and I'd love that. I don't think it's going to happen. Like Jordy, it's between Punk and Cena for me, and I'm just about leaning towards John Cena. Although I'd love to see Punk and Cody, that would be my preference. I think Cena's gonna win. It's gonna be the battle of the Titans, two of the biggest faces that WWE have had for a long, long time, clashing once again with that looming kind of aspect of The Rock over that matchup. I think that's a WrestleMania main event worthy matchup if I've ever seen one. And although I would prefer Cody and Punk for personal reasons, I think Cody and Cena, that's the match, and I think John Cena's winning this. And yeah, I don't think Cena's going to turn heel. I think Cody's gonna do something to show that he's aligned with The Rock at WrestleMania. And yeah, I think Cena's gonna learn the hard way that to win his 17th world title, it's going to be a lot harder than he thinks. But I think Cena's winning this one and taking his next step to facing Cody Rhodes in a match that everyone will love to see. I think most people.
Wow!
It's what's best for business, apparently, according to John.
That's a very that was a very heelish quote from him as well, which is
it was strange.
It's the most heel thing anyone can say in wrestling ever, because
it's the most heelish thing Cena's ever said.
Yeah, ever in his entire career. I mean,
it was weird though. It was weird.
Says, what if his number 17 is the TNA World Championship?
Watch out, Joe Hendry. He's teasing it. Joe Hendry's teasing it.
Ric Flair would, I think, count the NWA ones too, and then you get on to like 21 or whatever it is. But Kobe's back in John Cena. Fernando says, shout out Wrestling Republic. Thank you so much. Eswiggle6 says Logan Paul dominates the chamber, eliminates everyone one by one. Hey,
that's just like my worst nightmare. That's just my worst nightmare.
I think
my worst nightmare, Ben. So thank you.
While we're talking about CM Punk and him potentially getting his way into a match, I think Thor's theory is spot on, and that's the one I'd like to see most play out in terms of
the best one. It is
CM Punk saying to Heyman, "Get me in that match," and Heyman going, "I can't get. What do you want me to do?" And then I'll try. And then all of a sudden it's like, I got the go ahead. But then we find out that, because like, remember when Roman tried to call Paul and it went to answer tone, and how Punk was there and Heyman said to Punk, "Just please take me with you," when Solo and the Bloodline were causing havoc. Like, Heyman could be a part of this heel turn as well. And he's mates with The Rock. We know he is. He obviously, last year, that could have been the conversation that those two had. And it's like, okay, yeah, Cody's going to say no. And Heyman's going to go, well, I've got your guy right here. And there is something as well that in a press conference ages ago, when they were talking to Punk about his face run, and he said something like, "Wait till you see what happens next," or something like that. So
I saw that. It was like they asked, they said, "Oh, you were so good as a heel because I absolutely hated you when I was younger," and Punk was like, "Well, wait until 6 months time or something." And that was like,
I remember it. I remember watching it and thinking like, "Oh, I hope I'm ready." And obviously, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. He actually said on Monday, "When you push me, I'm the devil himself," which is like, oh.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people, like, if that does happen, that's like something very long in the making. And I think a lot of people thought that Rock appearance was very last minute. I'm not going to rule it out that only a few people knew what the Rock's plans were.
I think people don't realize, I don't think, how much of a generational battle Cody, Punk, and Cena would be in terms of.
It would be amazing.
It's like that. That's like a separate generation of like, this was post Rock, post Stone Cold. This was like the generation that I grew up with, in a sense of when I was like 12, 13, 14. It was like Cena, Orton, Punk. And that's when Cody came into it. I remember dashing Cody Rhodes and then undashing Cody Rhodes. Like, I just think it would be iconic to have all three of them, but it would also be iconic to have Punk with Roman and Seth. So I don't know. I've said it before, 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell, main event, get them all in, chuck it in, Roman, Seth, Punk, Cena, who else? Randy, Drew, I don't know.
All of them, all at once, 6-man tag team match. But that does bring us to the end of the show, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you to Jordy and Archie for joining me here today, and thank you to everybody in the comments. But as DCX Warlord saying, peace.